Gentlemen, this is your favorite YouTube content creator, IWN, and this is your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news live stream 1. Again, this is your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news live stream number 1. Before we get started going over your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news, I want to inform you guys that I do, in fact, have some breaking news. So apparently I have received word. The reason why I came live late is because I just received word from Ringside News that 5 NXT talents were released from their contracts. This is the breaking news. I'm going to go over the breaking news with you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up on the stream. Let's get a lot of likes on the stream, please. I really appreciate it. You guys can follow me on Facebook, Instagram. You can add me on Snapchat. Links to all my accounts are in the description below. It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We got the leaves shining. Got the blue sky. You got the white clouds out there showing themselves and everything. The sun is out. It's a beautiful, nice day outside. Very, very beautiful, nice day outside, man. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys this piece of breaking news that I got from Ringside News here before I get started going over the WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news. So first things first, it says here that WWE recently underwent another mass purge of NXT talent. The NXT releases are presently underway. So we now have a list of talents who are no longer with WWE. Well, the Ringside News has a list of talents who are no longer with WWE because they were the ones that told me. They were the ones that gave me this piece of breaking news. So PW Insider recently provided the list of talents who are no longer with WWE. Bocce Hayward, that's his name. Bocce Hayward stood out in those magnets with his factual reactions. That name doesn't ring a bell to me. He was probably one of Vince McMahon's puppets. One of Vince McMahon's talents. He was most recently seen in Andre Chase University. Also, he was reportedly cut from TV because of the plot that Duke Hudson had killed him. Solon Jacobs, a 19-year-old talent from Pennsylvania. Let me tell you, Solon Jacobs, she's fine as hell. If you go to her Instagram and see her photos of her, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see why I say she look fine as hell. She's fine as hell, though. She's a 19-year-old talent from Pennsylvania who had previously performed in the independent circuit under the moniker, the Notorious Mimi. She joined NXT in March 2022. The Monster Factory trainee participated in Level Up in the women's breakout competition on NXT earlier last year. Over the weekend, she worked the NXT live events. Erica Yang, who is originally from Shanghai, China, I think, and earned a contract last year and debuted on NXT TV. In late 2021, she didn't compete for the company again until, I'd say, September the 22nd, because that's exactly what it says here. Also, it says here that Texas-born star Demarius Griffin appeared on NXT Level Up multiple times. He hadn't even been wrestling for the company for a year. Rule Fiend, who signed a WWE NXT contract a year ago, previously appeared as an enhancement talent on 205 Live and NXT TV. So, if I receive confirmation of any other further names from Ringside News, I'll let you guys know. My social Ringside News is keeping an eye out for the latest updates and news, and I will be as well. So that is the breaking news for your Tuesday afternoon. So now we are going to actually go over your WWE AEW Tuesday afternoon news that's listed in the description. And of course, we are going to start with the news on Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy, because that needs to be talked about. That needs to be gone over real quick. That needs to be gone over real quick. I'm tired of getting up and having to freaking push the back button on my phone, man. When I'm trying to go live with something, I don't want people calling me. You know, this is an important stream. My streams, my reviews of my channel is important. I hate when people try to freaking call when I'm trying in the middle of a stream. I don't know why my mother just can't tell anybody that I'm not available right now, you know? But anyways. We're actually going to start with the news on Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy. As soon as I find it, because it's not on my freaking laptop screen, starting to piss me off because it's not showing up on the screen. There it is. Okay, so apparently there's some news on the person behind helping Bray Wyatt with mysterious Uncle Howdy promo review. So Bray Wyatt made his return during the Extreme Rules Premium Live event and completely shocked everyone in attendance. Since then, he has been regularly featured on the Blue brand. During this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown, Wyatt ended the show with a promo in the ring where he addressed his demons. He stated in the promo that this is the most real and best version of himself. But there is a part. There's a part of him where he is not afraid to do horrible things, basically. So then a mysterious figure named Uncle Howdy appeared. According to Fightful's paywall, Jason Jordan assisted Bray Wyatt with the promo. While it's not officially confirmed exactly who Howdy may turn out to be, Howdy could also be a returning WWE superstar, which I think is Bo Dallas. 100% Bo Dallas. Definitely him. So we will have to wait and see how his storyline will progress. Do you guys like his direction of this character so far? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to go over the rest of you during AEW Tuesday afternoon news in just a minute, guys. I need to go on break real quick. So I will be right back because I'm receiving some more news. And I never thought today would be the day I start receiving news from Ringside News. I just received some more news. So, and plus, I haven't even posted this stream on YouTube yet. So I will be right back. I'm going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back from my short break, and now I can continue giving you your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news. I have received some more news, which all the other news that I just received, we're going to go over tomorrow. But right now, we're going to continue on with me giving you your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news here. So, we went over the news on Bray Wyatt and Howdy. Now, the next news we have is on Logan Paul. So, apparently, Logan Paul claims Triple H is ghosting him and won't answer his text messages. That's unusual. Why won't Triple H answer Logan Paul's text messages? I may have an answer to that, I may not. But it says here that Logan Paul defiantly shocked fans with his solid athleticism during his SummerSlam match against The Miz. The Maverick got a lot of props for his dedication to professional wrestling. With that being said, he's still getting ghosted by Triple H. After a couple months of waiting, WWE pretty much made it clear they want the Maverick to face off against Roman Reigns for the titles. They confirmed the match during a press conference. Hey guys, if you want me to go over the breaking news again on the 5 NXT talents being released, just let me know and I'll go over that news. I'll go over that news with you guys tomorrow as well, just in case anybody didn't get it. Even if you want me to, I'm still going to go over it. And the rest of the new news that I received after that. Anyways, since then, ever since they confirmed the match during press conference, Logan Paul has been a consistent figure or feature on WWE television. He has been guided by Triple H as well. While speaking to Matthew Connell of Alternative Sport, Logan Paul actually revealed that Triple H isn't responding to his texts. His text messages. It says here, and I quote, this is what he says. He says, Triple H is an incredible man. He takes the time to point me in the right direction and guide me. Then Logan Paul continues to say, the one thing that he hasn't done just yet is respond to any of my text messages. Triple H, if you're watching this, just please, I'm 3 texts deep with no response. I don't know if you've seen them, but I'm feeling desperate and I'm just afraid to send that forth because rejection. Some say rejection is redirection, but where am I going? End quote. Sounds to me like Logan Paul tried to rhyme some of his words in his paragraph. Rejection and redirection. Sounds like that rhymes. Shawn Michaels has also been training Logan Paul ahead of his match against Roman Reigns. Obviously, the world of WWE means something to the Maverick, so we'll have to see if Paul has any chance against Reigns at WWE Crown Jewel on November the 5th. And again, I will go over the breaking news on the 5 NXT talents being released from their contracts tomorrow afternoon when I'm live for my Dark Watch Along. I'm actually going to be live for my AEW Dark Watch Along tomorrow. And I'm going to have your WWE and AEW Wednesday afternoon news. And then I'll be live for the Dynamite Watch Along. And then after that, I'll be live for the Dynamite review, giving you guys your WWE and AEW Wednesday night news. So, that's one thing about me. I love to keep you guys up to date what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. Even the same thing, JD does the same thing on his podcast, legitimately. And speaking of JD, I do have some news on the entire AEW women's locker room, taking aim at JD over his truthful, honest comments. We're going to talk about that later on the stream. But right now, I want you guys to give me your takes on what Logan Paul said. What's y'all's take on Logan Paul? Let me know. There's some news on Carl Anderson. So this is the next WWE Tuesday afternoon news that I'm going to go over. So apparently Carl Anderson no longer competing at New Japan Wrestling Battle Autumn Show. So why? Well, because him and Luke Gallows signed a huge contract with WWE. And they are actually making more money there than they are in New Japan Pro Wrestling, in my honest opinion. So I think it was a great decision for Triple H to bring back the OC. AJ Styles is really good with the OC, but AJ Styles is good and better off by himself, to be honest. That's just me. But Carl Anderson made his return to WWE of his loose ends outside the company prior to that. He is still the never open champion in New Japan Wrestling, but a scheduled title defense ran into one of the biggest shows. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened to my camera. What happened to my camera, man? Uh-oh. I don't know what's going on. Oh no. No, please tell me my webcam didn't just stop working, dude. You gotta be kidding me. There's no way. Dude, my webcam just stopped working. When I was going over the news on Carl Anderson, my webcam stopped working. No way, dude. The devil has to be messing with me or something, dude, because there's no way my webcam will stop working like that. There's no way. There's no way, man. There's absolutely no way. Guys, anyway. Oh my God. I mean, I've had so many deaths in my family, and it's leading up to this point, and I can't believe my webcam has stopped working. I mean, why would my webcam stop working, dude? I don't get it. If I burnt it out? You shouldn't be doing this. It should not be doing this, man. Yeah, guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull. My webcam stopped working. I don't know if it's clicking on the laptop. But we're gonna go ahead and pull this one. My webcam looks to be a floor. Top floor. I don't know where. So, as I was saying, Carl Anderson is still the never openweight champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but the scheduled title defense ran into one of WWE's biggest shows. Now he won't be competing with the upcoming New Japan Pro Wrestling event. The only thing set to wrestle at November 6th, Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. I'll be live for the Crown Jewel wrestling of the Crown Jewel picture. I gotta go ahead and respond to the Crown Jewel somewhere. That's the one. It's the Crown Jewel wrestling. And the webcam is telling me not going to work by accident. The webcam is completely down. Completely. Like I said, the OC is set to wrestle at November 6th, Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia against the Special Force. Anderson was always a, he was played for the thing. He never openly title against the previous. At Rich Temple Wrestling was out of front. He said that I know who the computer was. And then he can Rich Temple Pro Wrestler. But he exactly what it was. So the Rich Temple Wrestling recently released a statement that said that Anderson will have to relinquish the title. Anderson stated that he will not relinquish the title for the defender. Anderson said that. However, as the Dearborn statement on the website, this man confirmed that despite intensive effort, Max has been officially kicked. So that's here on quote, what it says, despite intensive efforts by Luke Temple Wrestling to negotiate returns for the damage wasn't in the process. Autumn was in force. Luke Temple Wrestling takes that still then missed his goal before he had the rush to go up that came for the fans to make football team. We apologize to fans who have been looking forward to watching in the rush. After a challenge from Disney World, Tanahashi, and absolutely correct because for the circle will now see a one-time special finish match between Disney, Tanahashi, and Disney. This wrestling will hold its champion to the highest status of professionalism. We deeply apologize for the inconvenience this one is on so, let's be honest. Nobody watches Impact. Nobody gives a shit about Impact. New type of wrestling is still going on before this. Even AEW, even WWE. After apologizing for Anderson not being on the show, adding that they proved their champion to the highest standard, especially for 409 State Visual, Tallahassee and North Carolina. It is certainly unfortunate that the team can't interfere. So, we'll have to see when Anderson speaks for newspaper wrestling again. Are you guys glad about this or not? Let me know. I'm sad about the fact that my freaking webcam stopped working. And I can't believe you guys can still hear me. After all this time, you guys can still hear me, dude. You guys can still hear me, man. Literally. I can't turn on the webcam. It's not working. I don't know why. It's not cutting on, dude. It's not cutting on. Anyways, moving on. Moving on to your next WWE Tuesday afternoon news. This one is on AJ Styles. So AJ Styles is uncertain what he will do after pro wrestling retirement. God, I fucking hate when my damn stuff doesn't work. I really do. So AJ Styles has been considered one of the best professional wrestlers, one of the best pro wrestlers by both fans and his peers alike. We already know that. You're telling us something that we all already know. Now, he is getting older and also wiser with age, which has been reflected in his in-ring compatibilities. With that being said, he has no idea about his post-retirement plan. So, after appearing in the 2016 Royal Rumble, AJ Styles competed in several high-profile feuds against stars such as Randy Orton, John Cena, and many others. His journey to WWE was certainly a long and arduous one. Now, while speaking on stacking penis with Corey, the Joey, whatever his name is, AJ Styles made it clear that he has no idea what he'll do after retirement. It says here, and I quote, "Who's to know what that is?" Styles said about life after wrestling and how we'll deal with it. Being on the road as much as we are, and then we're at home, then what? What do you do? Do you have a hobby that you do that can? I don't know. Can take it up. I don't know. End quote. So, Styles will be teaming up with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows to square off against the Judgment Day at Crown Jewel on November the 5th. Obviously, he has a lot of ground to cover up, hangs up his boots. Only time will tell what he will accomplish in that time. We'll have to see who will win in the end. Now, what is y'all's take on what he said? Sound off in the comments or sound off in the live chats, please. Next news we have is on Braun Strowman and Omos. I mean, I don't think anybody even cares to even hear the news on Braun Strowman and Omos, but I'm going to go over it anyway. So there's concern that the Braun Strowman versus Omos WWE Crown Jewel match will miserably fail. Which it will. I hope to God that after Braun Strowman and Omos have their match at Crown Jewel, that this ends quickly. Everybody in the community is talking about this. Everybody in the community doesn't like the match. Everybody in the community knows that this is creatively lazy booking. They know that. This is one of the worst short storylines in WWE. Given how terrible Braun Strowman and Omos is in the ring, yeah. Nobody wants to watch a terrible Braun Strowman and a terrible Omos in the ring. Give me a break. They are awful. I hope to God that Triple H lets Omos and Braun Strowman go from the company. Release both of them. Not just Omos, Braun Strowman too. I'm not a fan of Braun Strowman either. He is terrible. He has a big mouth, and he always thinks he has a fucking ego. Always thinks he's all that and shit. You know. But that's not the point. The point is, Braun Strowman and Omos, they're both terrible in the ring. Their gimmicks are not good. Their in-ring skills are not good. And their appearance and theme songs are not good. Get them off of TV. Please. I hope they cancel this Omos versus Braun Strowman match for Crown Jewel at some point this week. If they don't, I'm going to be fucking absolutely pissed off. The entire community is already unhappy that they booked Braun Strowman versus Omos. They don't want to see that shit. Nobody in the IWC community wants to see that shit. Just like nobody watches Impact. Just like nobody gives a shit about watching Impact. Seriously, yeah, break. He went on to compete in Control Your Narrative, but not much after that. After Strowman's WWE return, Jim Cornette isn't looking forward to his upcoming match at all. I don't blame the guy. I don't blame Jim Cornette for not looking forward to this match. This match is fucking terrible. Whoever came up with the idea of having Braun Strowman and Omos to feud should be utterly fucking fired. And they should be held accountable for their actions. This is not the right feud going forward in the WWE. I don't know whose idea this was to even feud them, to even book this match for Crown Jewel. I would have totally booked Braun Strowman versus Lance Archer than Braun Strowman versus Omos. I'd rather see that match than see Braun Strowman versus Omos. That match between Lance Archer and Braun Strowman. That's how I feel about it. That's legitimately how I feel about this Braun Strowman and Omos feud. The monster among monsters. It's supposed to be the monster among men, but then I gotta call him the monster among monsters. Finally made his WWE return, and he got right back to business. Great. Remember seeing Braun Strowman every year on television, as if anybody gives a single shit about what Braun Strowman does on TV, what he does in the ring. Now, for the past couple of weeks, Strowman has been engaged in a feud with Omos and MVP. Nobody cares. A match between Strowman and Omos was then made official for the WWE Crown Jewel on November the 5th. While speaking on episode 455 of the Jim Cornette Experience, Jim Cornette stated that he believes that the match will be rotten. Yes, the match is going to be complete rotten dog shit. Yes. Nobody in the community is looking forward to this match. I've said this twice already. I've said this for months. I've said this for weeks, if anything. It says here, and I quote, Saudi Arabia is probably the best place. No pun, no joke, and no shit. If you go back through wrestling history, a big show in a foreign, I'm talking foreign to the United States. If you are in Saudi Arabia right now, I'm sorry, but a big show in a foreign market, two giants, the people are getting just thrilled to see live wrestling and thrilled to see stars in person, end quote. Oh, and he continues on to say, I thought I was going to end it from there, but it continues on to say, they get two giants. It looks giant, or it looks great on a poster or whatever. It's going to be hopefully short and not necessarily sweet. They'll be there for a good time, but not for a long time. And then he goes on to say in the last paragraph, a domestic audience would shit all over because they see wrestling on a regular basis. And it's going to be rotten because how can it not be? End quote. Braun Strowman even made a huge claim about the match. He is just getting the Strowman Express moving after his return to the company. It remains to be seen how the match will turn out. I just said it right in the open of this news article. I just said it. I'm not repeating it again. I'm really not. Yeah, they stacked the card for Crown Jewel, but that's no reason to be booking Braun Strowman versus Omos. You kidding me, man? You kidding me with this shit? Give me a break. So, are you guys excited about this match? Let me know in the live chats. Yes or no. Oh, you already know I'm not. I want to know if you guys are excited for the match or not. You already know my answer is. I just gave it out. Legitimately just gave it out, man. I'm not repeating it. So, moving on to the next news, folks. We have news on hold on, let me get to the let me go to the next article because I should have already been on the next article before saying that. So let me see. All right, moving on to the next news. So apparently, the next WWE Tuesday afternoon news we have is on WWE rehiring WWE employees spotted scouting talent at independent pro wrestling event. I don't know if you guys saw this news yet, but this news was put out yesterday, clearly. It says here that WWE has been going through a lot of changes ever since. Triple H took over. This is especially true when it comes to people he brought back in the past few months. Even Gable Sapolsky, whom the game rehired, was spotted at a recent indie show. Now, as previously reported, Triple H hired back Gable Sapolsky last month. He was fired earlier this year, which shocked many fans. Many fans. The former Evolve head honcho has already started with his new duties. According to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, Gable Sapolsky attended the recent Daffy Wrestling show and was absolutely blown away. It was noted that this was an official scouting trip. It was an official scouting trip, but Sapolsky certainly loved the show. Guys, listen, it's not my fault that my webcam is not cutting on. I was not expecting my webcam to go off on me like this. The sound, you can still hear me. The volume still works, but the camera doesn't. It's just like it literally cut off on its own. I didn't cut it off. Don't worry, I'm buying a new webcam. I'm not worried about it. So it says here, and I quote, this is what Brian Alvarez said. Gable Sapolsky was there. He was blown away by the show. End quote. Dave Meltzer then said that Gabe Sapolsky just happened to be in town now that Triple H is in charge. I can't even get out what I'm gonna say. It's so bad I can't even concentrate, guys. I can't even give out what I'm gonna say. That's how bad my webcam went out. There has been a renewed focus on scouting independent wrestling talent again. We'll have to wait and see which other talent will end up signing next. Well, you know what? The other WWE talent might end up signing with AEW. Don't be surprised if Tony Khan starts signing more talent, because you know it's bound to happen. All this talent he done signed, man, and yet half of them are not even getting enough TV time. It's crazy. So, do you like WWE's new direction? Sound off in the comments. Guys, if you think I'm doing good with my AEW and WWE Tuesday afternoon news live stream, hit the thumbs up, please. I really appreciate it. First of all, Easy8, I just want to say welcome to the live chat. I hope you're enjoying your time here in the live chat with me. I hope you enjoy listening to me give you guys your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news. You know I like to keep you guys up to date with what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. So I appreciate you. I really, really appreciate your positive comments in the live chat. It's what it's all about, man. Communication. It's all about keeping your audience up to date. It's all about giving the audience what they want to hear, what they want to see on the channel, man. That's what I'm all about, man. You know, I'm not like all these other fake freaking YouTube content creators that's out here freaking giving you shitty fucking trash content on the channel. No, I'm not hearing those. I'm not hearing those guys. Now, moving on to the next WWE Tuesday afternoon news. Apparently, there's some answers as to why WWE is letting Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle the Great Muta. And I appreciate your generosity. I really do. Easy8 in the chat. I really appreciate your generosity, man, and support. Shinsuke Nakamura is a versatile, or versatile, I don't know what the fuck that word is. So, Shinsuke Nakamura has a good personality with a solid reputation in the WWE. I'm just going to say that. Fans may have noticed that the Great Muta and Shinsuke Nakamura made headlines because they were suddenly booked in a match outside of Vince McMahon's former company. It was recently announced that Shinsuke Nakamura will square off against the Great Muta at the NOAH, the New Year's show, on January the 1st, 2023. Hey, my birthday is in January, and I'll be turning 24. Of course, my birthday's on January 25th. I was born in 1999. There is a reason for this, and it could have a lot to do with WWE's new resume and the respect Muta has on his name. Maybe. So the battle is a stop on Muta's continuing retirement tour, which also features AEW superstar Sting. After the news broke, Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Radio explained why WWE is letting Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle in the bout. Nevertheless, yes, Hassan, I had a great Halloween last night. Working. I was at work. I was absolutely at work, man. I really was. Guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up, man, if you're enjoying your time here in the stream with me, man. Hit that like button on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now, continue on with the news on why Shinsuke Nakamura wrestling Buddha. So, as I said, Melzer of Wrestling Observer Radio explained why WWE is letting Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle. Nonetheless, here and I quote, there's two things it could be. Number one, WWE, with the new resume, is allowing guys to do. It will never be a lot of guys, but maybe guys to request, hey, maybe let me do something special outside the States with another company. Or, just something really special. And they said, okay, do it. Also, Muda, because such a legend, he's such a legend, and it's his final matches, and it's like, hey, I can do one of his last matches. And everyone who comes from Triple H's generation, Muda was a legend, and he was a big star before, and a legend in New Japan. And I think maybe it's just kind of something that's real special, and they'll let him do it. It was still a surprise, end quote. Melzer has already he's already stated his approach to this Biggie match. So let's see whether Nakamura or Muda speak out about it furthermore. I guess we'll have to wait and watch how Nakamura performs in his matchup with Muda. I will keep checking with my sources, Ringside News, for more developments, guys. And if I have more developments, of course, I will do another live stream, another AEW News live stream, and let you guys know. Now, moving on to the next news here. So, WWE confirms The Rock's daughter, Ava Rain's next NXT appearance. I got some WWE Tuesday afternoon news on that. So, WWE made headlines when they hired Simone Johnson back in 2020. The Rock's daughter then started training at the Performance Center. It's been 2 years since then. Since she had to recover from a knee injury in the meantime. Now, she is now featured on NXT television after her surprising debut last week. Ava Rain made her NXT debut on last week's episode of NXT television. I almost got it wrong. The 21-year-old took off her mask to reveal herself as the fourth member of Joe Gacy's cult, Scasm. Ironically, she is also the first four-generation superstar in WWE. Fans were certainly shocked to see The Rock's daughter debut as a heel. WWE has announced that Ava Rain will be part of a sit-down interview alongside her fellow Scasm members on this week's episode of NXT television. It says here, and I quote, 4 roots, 1 tree. Scasm's new mantra has evolved with the addition of Ava Rain after last week's shocking reveal on NXT. A red hooded figure had been lurking by the side of Joe Gacy. Rip, Foley, and Jagger Reed. And now Scasm has officially shaken up the NXT universe with their newest member. It continues on to say, this Tuesday, Scasm will sit down for an interview on NXT to shed light on their latest actions and their future plans. This the latest from the anonymous faction this Tuesday at 8/7 Central on USA Network. End quote. Now, The Rock also reacted to his daughter's NXT debut. So, we will have to wait and see how Ava Rain will be booked in the coming weeks. Fans are certainly interested in her current direction. Here's the lineup for NXT so far. Scasm sit-down interview, Mandy Rose's 1-year NXT Women's Championship Celebration, R-Truth versus Grayson Waller, and Thea Hale versus Kiana James. That is the card for tonight's NXT. Are you guys looking forward to seeing Ava Raine? I'm certainly not looking forward to seeing NXT, and I will not be watching NXT because I'll be at work. Good. I'd rather be at work than watch NXT. NXT's garbage. NXT sucks. AEW Dynamite is better than NXT. But I'm not just a WWE fan, but I'm an NXT, or not NXT fan, but I'm not just a WWE fan. I'm an AEW fan too. I'm both a WWE and AEW fan. The shows that I like the most right now are SmackDown and Rampage. And Dynamite. Mainly Dynamite and SmackDown. Those are the main two shows that I like right now. Because those are the main two shows that are doing great right now. Monday Night Raw, not so much. Now, moving on to the next news. So apparently, WWE's plans for Kevin Owens was put on pause. And I may have some answers as to why. So, my sources of Ringside News can exclusively confirm that Kevin Owens' WWE hiatus has nothing to do with Sami Zayn. That was the update. The original report was that Kevin Owens started showing traits of the character he played in NXT under Triple H's direction, not long after the game took over WWE Creative, along with making Owens stronger. Slight modifications were made to his demeanor and appearance. WWE also put their plans for KO on hold at the moment, pretty much. Now, according to WrestleVotes, during an interview with Give Me Sport, Triple H has postponed his plans for KO, given how unpopular Sami Zayn's connection with the bloodline has been with the fans. This is preciously why Owens isn't currently on TV. It says here, and I quote, gotta clear my throat a little bit here. He was pegged to get involved with Sami in the bloodline. And that's white hot right now. Oh, really? Interesting. Those plans, from what I've been told, are defiantly pushed back. But they're not off. Because the plan is for Kevin Owens to be with Sami Zayn. And that is what it is. At least that's according to either WrestleVotes or Give Me Sport. So then it continues on to say, in the last paragraph, that whatever they had planned for Kevin Owens is totally on pause because this stuff with Sami doesn't come around often. This was supposed to be a little 3-4 week comedy deal. It's getting big. It's getting really, really big. End quote. It was initially planned that Sami Zayn's presence in the group would last just a few weeks, but things have altered. Zayn recently spoke in an interview regarding this topic while Owens has continued to work house shows. His latest televised encounter took place on the WWE Raw episode on August 26, 2022, I believe. He teamed up with Johnny Gargano to defeat Alpha Academy of Chad Gable and Owens. Oh, yeah, I was right. Because it was in August 26, 2022. Yep. So, we'll stay tuned to Ringside News, my only sources for the latest news and updates. If I get news and updates, of course, I will do another WWE AEW news live stream this week, which will be on a Friday afternoon. Because I won't have to get my hair cut this week. That stuff is coming up my throat. See why I had to clear it now? What is y'all's take on this story? All right. Next, we have some news on Santos Escobar. So apparently, he shares an emotional moment with his father at WWE Mexico City live event. Lucha Libre has practically become a family institution, rather. Since today's wrestling has so many multi-generational stars, not Triple H in charge anyway. WWE held events this past weekend in Mexico. It was only fitting that Santos Escobar, a star of the company, could enjoy the occasion with his family. It's a good thing to see, man. You love to see it. The Legado del Fantasma leader made his entrance this past weekend, assisted by his father, seasoned wrestler El Fantasma, in social media pictures from WWE and Escobar. Escobar presented the mask to his father before they hugged, while donning a variation of the mask he actually used when he competed in Mexico in NXT as El Hanjo El Fantasma. Now, Escobar then defeated Dolph Ziggler in singles action. El Fantasma is well known to followers of Lucha Libre, but Escobar's father may not be as well known to America, or he may not be well known to American wrestling fans. Put it that way. The upcoming 61-year-old has competed for over 43 years in the ring. Wow, that's a lot of years, dude. That is a whole bunch of years. Now, notably, in the 1980s, for the now defunct Universal Wrestling Association, UWA, Major Lucha Libre firms, AAA, CMLL, and IWRG. Fantasma will be 61 on November the 1st. He still occasionally wrestles, but he is best recognized now for serving as the president of Mexico City's Boxing and Wrestling Commission and Triple Mania XXX Mexico City in the middle of October. The senior Fantasma gave the AAA Mega Championship to Hajo del Vikingo after he successfully defended the title against Rey Fenix. The elder Fantasma is usually spotted at important Lucha Libre events. Escobar now makes his way back to the United States with fellow Legado Fantasma members Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wild and Selena Vega in an effort to get retribution on Hit Row. Hit Row! Anyways, Escobar's team recently suffered a defeat on SmackDown, unfortunately. They got buried. I don't know why. As Shinsuke Nakamura was enlisted by Top Dollar and Ashanti Theodonis as their mystery partner. It should have been Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes fits more in that group than Nakamura. Carmelo Hayes is more of a team player than Nakamura is with Hit Row. I'm just saying. Not to shut Nakamura down or put him down or anything. I just think Carmelo Hayes would have been the right decision, given that there was news on him teasing his main roster call-up and all that. I gave out that news like about 1 or 2 weeks ago. Now, only time will tell what is in store for the stable. I'm going to show you guys this video of Santos Escobar's father. Hang on a second. Yeah. I want you guys to see this. This was a great moment. You could tell this was a great moment for Escobar, man. A very, very great moment for him. Oh, that's right. I can't show it. Oh, never mind. I forgot I can't show it because my camera isn't working. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Yeah, this shit sucks. I gotta get a new webcam, dude. This is bad. Very, very bad, dude. Oh, well. Oh, freaking well, man. So what is y'all's take on Santos Escobar's emotional moment? Sound off in the live chats, please. Moving on to the next news. This one is on this WWE Tuesday afternoon news is on Brock Lesnar. Now, there is seemingly some answers as to why Brock Lesnar's repeated losses in WWE won't hurt his legacy. So we all know that Brock Lesnar is most defiantly one of the most highly anticipated pro wrestlers in the history of the business. No question about it. But WWE, I feel like at this point, they don't really need Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, and Lacey Evans on TV anymore. I feel like they don't need them anymore. They're doing so good without them, I feel like. I really do. I really do feel like they're doing good without them, man. All right. Not only that, he is a force to be reckoned with in the world of combat sports. Well, in fact, it's believed that his losses in WWE will not hurt his legacy for a good reason. At one point in time, it was almost unimaginable for Brock Lesnar to lose in a wrestling match. However, the Beast Incarnate has already lost to Roman Reigns twice this year. While speaking on the Keeping It 100 podcast, WCW veteran Conti provided an explanation as to why Lesnar's repeated losses will do nothing to hurt his legacy in the long run while working in WWE. It says here, and I quote, "Yeah, because he even brings up, he lost 3 times. It doesn't matter, bro. He's a unique character. He's always getting over because he's one of a kind. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like Nate Diaz. He can lose 3 more times. He's still Nate Diaz. You know what I'm saying? People want to see him. People want to see Brock. He's an attraction." End quote. Brock Lesnar set the face-off against Bobby Lashley and WWE Crown Jewel on the 5th. So we'll wait and see whether Lesnar will end up losing to Lashley as well, or if he will continue to be a dominant force by picking up the win over the Almighty One. DZB, unfortunately, I wasn't able to pull up the video due to the camera not working on my webcam. Yeah, the speaker's working on my webcam, but the camera is not. The camera has seemingly shut off on me. I can't get it to cut back on. And that is very, very, very sad. I'm very, very angry about this. Trust me. I am very disappointed that my camera shut off on me, man. It's complete bullshit. It really is. I feel like the devil's playing games with me at this point, man. Why is my camera going to shut off like that when I'm trying to give out WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news? I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it. But what is y'all's take on Brock Lesnar's current WWE booking? Sound off in the live chats. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, is going to be one of the best matches on the Crown Jewel. Matter of fact, one of the best 3 matches, 3 of the best matches on the Crown Jewel card is going to be Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, Judgment Day versus DOC, and Bayley versus Bianca Belair. I just don't see Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul as being one of the best matches on the card. It may not. I don't know. Logan Paul's not really a wrestler. He's a celebrator, you know. You can't count on the celebrator to do anything good, you know, sometimes. That's just the way I freaking feel about it. Now, moving on to the next WWE Tuesday afternoon news. There's news on Carmella. Yes, folks, Carmella is money. That Carmella. So apparently, Carmella recently suffered an ectopic pregnancy miscarriage. It says here that we have tragic news to report in the pro wrestling world. WWE superstar Carmella and her husband, Raw announcer Corey Graves, suffered a miscarriage. She decided to be brave by going on social media and tell her story. This is a very, very, very sad news article here, guys. On Carmella's Instagram account, she announced that the horrible news to her followers. According to her, an abnormal pregnancy was the cause of the miscarriage. It says here, and I quote, "I've gone back and forth with myself about posting this because I'm not looking for any sort of sympathy. But since today's the last day of Infinite Loss Awareness Month, I wanted to share my story. Today, I was treated for an ectopic pregnancy. I never thought something like this would happen to me, especially after suffering from an early miscarriage in September." And then she continues on to say, "Nothing can prepare you for this news after getting a positive pregnancy test. I was cautiously optimistic this time around after the early loss I had already experienced, but was hoping for the best. I spent 12 hours in the ER on Saturday when I started experiencing some sharp pains on my left side. After several tests and ultrasounds, I was given the devastating news that this was in fact an abnormal pregnancy. The reason I'm sharing all of this is because in the moment, it feels so isolating. Why doesn't anyone ever talk about this?" She questioned that, and then she said, "My husband and I watched ILIZAS new comedy special last week, and she spoke openly about her miscarriage. I immediately burst into tears." She went on to explain that we should be speaking more openly about this topic so we as women don't blame ourselves and think there's something wrong with us. And then she continues to say in the last long paragraph that I want to do the same. I'm part of this static, and it's happening to me. Again, I'm not looking for sympathy. I know I'll eventually recover from all of this, mentally, physically, emotionally. For anyone dealing with any type of pregnancy loss, I want you to know your feelings and emotions are valid. There's nothing wrong with you, and you are not alone." End quote. Carmella received tons of support and condolences from members of the pro wrestling world, current and past WWE superstars such as Brandy Rose, Big E, Jessica McKay, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Chelsea Green, Maurice, Nikki Bella, and many more reached out on her post. Of course, my sources of Ringside News sent their thoughts and prayers to Carmella and Corey Graves during this difficult time. My thoughts and prayers also goes out to Carmella and Corey Graves during these difficult times. Guys, send your prayer emojis in the live chat for Carmella. Comment the prayer emojis in the live chat. She really needs it. She really needs it right now. She does. This is a very, very bad situation. So, comment the prayer emojis in the chat, man. My thoughts and prayers go out to Carmella and Corey Graves. Now, what do you guys think of this snow? Let me know. What do you guys think of this news on Carmella? And what is y'all's thoughts on it? Now, moving on to the next news here. So, WWE SmackDown viewership. I got some news on that. So the viewership drops under 900K on FS1. That is not good for SmackDown. Sounds to me like SmackDown needs a tiny bit of improvement when it comes in ratings. Night Raw, same with NXT. WWE continued their stories this week on SmackDown, including Bray Wyatt and the Bloodline. How did the viewership pan out on Fox? It says here, according to Spoiler TV, October 28th episode of Friday Night SmackDown brought in an overnight average of 835,000 viewers on FS1 with a .23 in the 18 to 40 demographic. October 21st episode of SmackDown brought in an overnight average of 2.163 million viewers with a .5 in 18 to 49 demographic. The October the 14th episode of SmackDown brought a viewership of 2.129 million viewers with a .5 in 18 to 49 demographic. October the 7th edition of SmackDown brought an overnight average of 2.133 million viewers with a .5 in the 18 to 49 demographic. Let me know if you guys can still hear me or not. Now, September the 30th episode of SmackDown brought in an overnight average of 2.06 million viewers with a .50 in the 1849 demographic. September the 23rd episode of SmackDown brought in an overnight average of 2.385 million viewers with a .55 in 1849 demographic. September the 16th episode of WWE SmackDown brought in an overnight average of 2.086 million viewers with a .45 in 18 to 49 demographic. September the 9th episode of SmackDown brought in an overnight average of 2.217 million viewers with a .5 in 1849 demographic. The September the 2nd edition of SmackDown drew an overnight average of 1.952 viewers with a .4 in 18 to 49 demographic. This was a pre-taped episode prior to WWE Clash at the Castles. And guys, everybody that's watching the stream, don't be afraid to comment in the live chat. Don't be afraid to communicate with EZ8 or EZB, whatever his YouTube channel name is. Don't be afraid to comment with EZB. He's not going to bite you, okay? He's a nice YouTuber in the live chat. And I'm glad that he's actually agreeing with me on most things here. Now, we will have to see if they can pull up the ratings this week on Fox as far as SmackDown goes. Now, what is y'all's take on WWE's progress on SmackDown? Let me know in the live chats, please. All right. Next, we have some WWE Tuesday afternoon news on Sasha Banks. So, apparently Sasha Banks was with the WWE crew for the live event in Mexico. So not only Escobar was there, but Sasha Banks was there too. About a month after winning the women's tag team title, Sasha Banks and her tag partner, Naomi, shook the world when they decided to walk out of the company. The reason given at the time was the creative differences between the duo Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard. And you know what that is? People power. Divas. Since then, WWE has refrained from mentioning both their names on TV. I'm still glad to this day. I'm still glad that Johnny, you know what that is gone. Right. Still glad he's gone. However, WWE recently mentioned Sasha Banks' name at WWE Extreme Rules. This gave way to speculation that Sasha Banks may be returning to WWE. Super Luchas reports that Mexican exotic wrestler Mamba service. The exotic wrestler Mamba served as a tourist guide for Sasha Banks and Bayley this past week. Sasha was with WWE staff at the live event in Mexico. According to the outlet, Mamba took Banks and Bayley to the shopping mall, to some restaurants, to a bar, and they were having fun. I bet they had a good ass time, and basically had a girls' night. It is also reported that Sasha Banks was with WWE staff for the live event in Mexico. Apparently, Mamba took Sasha Banks and Bayley enjoyed a girls' night. Sasha Banks has been friends with Mamba since she trained with her in 2019. Do you guys think this indicates a WWE return for Sasha Banks? Yes or no? Let me know in the live chat. Now, moving on to the next news. The next WWE Tuesday afternoon news. Apparently, a wrestling YouTuber jumps guardrail at WWE live event in Mexico City like a complete fucking virgin. It says here that WWE's non-televised live events are a lot of fun because the superstars interact with the fans the most compared to the television tapings and premium live events. When WWE went to Mexico City, one indie wrestler took the event a bit too far. Ringside News received a tip from a fan in attendance about an incident at a WWE live event in Mexico City. Listen to this, guys. This is going to get you interesting. It's going to get you listening right here. Mexico on Sunday, October the 30th. Quetzali Oniz, the host of WWE Horror on YouTube, wanted to give an unplanned spot on the show to one of her friends, a wrestling YouTuber from Spain named Falvic, who was in ringside. This here, and I quote, "There was a scary incident at WWE's house show in Mexico City on October the 30th, 2022 that angered some fans in attendance. Quinzel Oniz, host of WWE Horror on YouTube, wanted to give an unplanned spot on the show to one of her friends, a wrestling YouTuber from Spain named Falvic, who was in ringside." And then it continues on to say that Falvic jumped the barricade after Quinzel encouraged him to do so. Byron Saxton called security to catch him, but Quinzel ordered them not to do anything to him. Byron Saxton's face was one of fear and then of anger with Quinzel for his situation, of which he clearly had no knowledge. Falvic attempted to get into the ring, but Quinzel angrily yelled at him to leave and return to ringside. Falvic apparently asked Quinzel for a shout out at the show and to go for him at ringside because she did that. He would give her a gift, but Falvic's plan would have been to get into the ring, declare for his love for her, and steal a kiss from her, regardless of Quinzel's response. This sounds like a cringe kind of story to me. A lot of fans who don't know who the YouTuber was thought it was a very dangerous situation and they were angry about what happened. Others have attacked Falvic because they considered that he planned an act of sexual harassment, asked for WWE and WWE Mexico to no longer be related to this YouTuber. This YouTuber is cringe. Very, very, very cringe. At the very, very cringe, jumping over that fence. Fans have also criticized Quinzel for his attitude. as what she did was seen as approval for other fans to violate the security of the event. Falbeck has done free collaborations in Spanish videos on the WWE YouTube channel. And Fox Sports Latin, and during WrestleMania 37, he was watching the show with Quinzelli Bonice. In a buy-along, it was shown how Quinzelli tried to kiss him on the mouth, but Falbeck did not notice. Since then, fans have pressured Falbeck into a relationship with Quincy. End quote. What a cringe fucking story, man. That YouTuber is even more cringe. Hopefully, WWE takes this notice very seriously, since the host could have been hurt or worse. It also seems that Byron Saxton had all the reason he needed to be a bit upset at the situation. It's too bad the experience was ruined for the thousands in attendance. What a fucking geek that guy is, man. Holy shit. No fan should be allowed to jump over the fence. No fan should be allowed at ringside at all. Looks like more security measures need to be taken seriously next time around. That's all I got to say to that. What do you guys think of all this craziness? Let me know in the chat, please. Alright. Next, we have some news on, let me see if I finish going over all the, nope. Yes, we have some news on Fox. We got some news on SmackDown on Fox, guys. So check it out. WWE SmackDown will be back on Fox this week, man. So WWE was forced to air SmackDown on FS1 because of Major League Baseball World Series. There was a chance that WWE SmackDown would have to spend 2 weeks on FS1, but that is not the case now. Major League Baseball postponed tonight's World Series game in Philadelphia. This decision was made due to a huge amount of rain falling on the city of brotherly love. Now, the World Series will not be held this Friday. So SmackDown will air on Fox again this Friday. Yay, finally. Get to watch it on TV and I get to be live with it on my laptop. Philadelphia and Houston will carry on with their series, but this Friday will not be in play, unfortunately. This is great news for SmackDown, which I agree, because last week's episode earned terrible viewership, despite it being a solid episode. October 28th episode of SmackDown brought in an overnight average of 835,000 viewers on FS1, with a .23 to 1849 demographic. Only time will tell when WWE programming will get postponed for another big event. This Friday, SmackDown will be back on Fox. What's y'all's take on WWE moving SmackDown to FS1 last week? Alright. Now that that news is out the way, looks like the last WWE Tuesday afternoon news I have, guys, for you is on Bray Wyatt and his crown jewel status. So apparently, WWE reveals Bray Wyatt's crown jewel status during Raw this week. So Bray Wyatt made his triumphant return to WWE Extreme Rules. He became a regular on SmackDown in the wake of his terrific return. Tonight, his status for Crown Jewel was finally revealed. Or should I say last night? Last night. Because last night Raw was on. Well, I was at work, of course. Kevin Patrick noted during Raw last night that Bray Wyatt will be at the Crown Jewel Premium Live event in Saudi Arabia this Saturday. This will be Wyatt's second Premium Live event appearance since Extreme Rules on October the 8th, 2022. It says, and I quote, breaking news, Bray Wyatt will be at Crown Jewel this Saturday. It will be shown on the Peacock WWE Network on the Premium Live event. End quote. WWE is likely to reveal more sides to Bray Wyatt's character in the coming weeks. This comes after Uncle Howdy's creepy debut during SmackDown last Friday night. What is y'all's take on this story? Alright, now it is officially time for your AEW Tuesday afternoon news. Here we go, guys. It's the moment you guys been waiting for. You've been waiting for me to give you guys the news on the entire AEW women's locker room taking aim at JD, and news on Jim Cornette dragging Malachi Black's AEW run as being a complete, utterly disappointment. Okay, here we go, guys. Now, we are going to start with the news on Eric Bischoff, first of all, because this news article seemed interesting a little bit. So apparently, Eric Bischoff drags AEW's poorly crafted stories. This has nothing to do with the AEW women's locker room taking aim at JD. WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff is a true veteran of professional wrestling. Due to his veteran status, his opinion is still taken seriously. Just like JD's opinion was taken seriously this week, when the AEW women's locker room took aim at him for absolutely no fucking reason. For the most part, Bischoff has once again decided to go after AEW. As many people are aware by now, Tony Khan and Eric Bischoff do not necessarily have the best of relationships. The two had a falling out last year and has not really gotten any better. In fact, it's gotten worse. Even Tony Khan called Eric Bischoff, even called him out for being a hypocritical recently. And I actually have some news on that. But we'll go over that later in the stream. While speaking on the latest 83 Weeks podcast, Eric Bischoff criticized AEW for having excuses for a match and not having well-crafted stories. It says here, and I quote, "No, I didn't see it or hear it. I'm aware of it. Obviously, because people kept blowing me up yesterday, wanting me to react, or the day before. I think it happened on Thursday. I'm not sure. It probably happened Wednesday. I'm aware of it. And look, hey, I've criticized myself plenty on this show for things that I wish I would have done differently, or things that I've learned subsequently to my time in WCW, that I wished I had the knowledge or the instinct or insight that I have now, 25 years ago. It would have been a better show. But there were certainly random matches that didn't have any story in WCW. I'm not denying that, but I'm also going to point out that I don't think I ever said in any of my commentary about AEW that I believe that every match should have a story. Then he goes on to say in a second long paragraph and says that when you're introducing new talent, or when you've got new talent that you haven't really matched up storyline-wise with an opponent yet, but you want to expose that talent, you want the audience to become familiar with the talent, you want to establish that talent. Sure, put them in there in a match, or put people in matches that don't really have a story, but use that time in non-storyline matches that really don't have a story. But use that time in non-storyline matches to give us some real backstory and information about said talent. Make us care. It doesn't always have to be in the form of a storyline, a traditional structure, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 kind of story. If I've ever given the impression that I thought every match on Nitro had a storyline, forgive me now. I never meant to. My issue in my comments about AEW and the creative behind it is really about your top matches that don't have significant story or structure. At least a compelling one. There's always, from back in the beginning of time, an in-sitting moment that creates a match or creates storyline. But your top matches, your A, B, C, and D storylines, that's different. A lot of matches, a lot of storylines. Well, what AEW considers storyline that I feel are just nothing more than excuses for a match. They're not well-crafted stories. Then he goes on in the last paragraph and says, that's my criticism. It's not a shot. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not trying to belittle anybody. I'm pointing out that I believe in today's competitive environment, with television being what it is, that if you want to pay attention to it, build and grow your audience, you're going to have to do it with well-crafted, compelling, well-structured storylines. And I don't see it. I see excuses for matches, and that's not a storyline. So that's my critique, constructive, as I hope it is interpressed, but clearly won't be, end quote. Everything Eric Bischoff said up to this point, I absolutely agree. Tony Khan was also blasted for his comments after Vince McMahon's retirement, regardless. It's highly unlikely the two will be mending fences anytime soon. What's y'all's take on what Eric Bischoff said about Tony Khan? Let me know. Guys, are you ready? Are you ready for the biggest news in the internet wrestling community that I'm about to give out? The biggest AEW news ever. So, apparently, there's news on AEW women's roster taking aim at JD. Legitimately, this news spread it across the internet and into the internet wrestling community on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, you name it. So apparently, the AEW women's locker room took aim at my only favorite podcaster, JD's truthful, honest, controversial comments. Now, this is where things are about to get good and where things are about to get bad. Because I got some good things to say about it, and our Duran show got some bad things to say about it. It's not going to be good. So, JD from New York, the host of Off the Script, is a notable voice because of his podcast. However, occasionally people turn against him. Recently, several female AEW wrestlers have recently called out the host of the wrestling podcast. The AEW stated that during this upcoming Wednesday's episode, Dynamite, Marina Shafir, the terrible Marina Shafir, will have another chance at AEW TBS champion Jade Cargill. In response to the announcement of the bout, JD tweeted out, "Please, for the love of God, no." The announcement approved to be alerting Jade Cargill and JD. Following the announcement, JD and Jade Cargill had a verbal altercation. Cargill and JD had a lengthy message exchange that resulted in an argument, and I wish I could freaking show it, but my freaking camera is not working. I don't understand why. I really want to show the program. I really do. So I go on to say, and I quote, Cargill said, damn, I heard you all the way from what calm down. And then they do say, genuinely, all this, you of all people, of course, you do better things, right? When you really yourself to the point of get that you really understand. Secondly, I have zero trouble. If you never have and never have expressed nothing exposed to. Third, man, which I agree with you, going up to do dark stuff in the river. It was fucking absolutely terrible. I don't know why. The geeks online, the relevant geeks online want. That's when we should concentrate about me and JD to take the whole shit. It's fucking good. Nobody's watching all that. You geeks online. Seriously. Daily goes on to say, have a great day. It's really important, honestly. You agree. To do what I do and speak behind it, and even praise the comments and stuff, and it means something. And that's the why I get. That probably explains why I haven't seen the video picture match before. I'm guessing it's the Samoan Joe Ring of Honor Television Championship match. How seemingly replaced the video picture. Due to the upstate TV. Apparently, Tony Khan was the thing of the two, and JD is full time. He must put the CBS title. He looks title of the book. Because I do have some news on another time that things go to Dynamite, the two goes away. But then JD seems to show that, you know, people come at me because I'm straight up punk. And it's fine. My DM is open. You have a fun. Also, I like to pull out. Next week get over 1/3 the right. That's the original. I give it a strong yesterday. I am the first girl. The question is, I say, I am the first girl. For AEW, I am one of the two. Maybe someone there could steal her in. And then Jade Cargill started by saying, the question is, by saying, better insult to our court. And I'll buy your flat of the concept in your way. So, after my over, it's 11:44 a.m. on a Sunday, and I woke up to eat songs with myself. Don't sit on anything, but I doubt your ass to do it and get that way. And then Jason responded up saying, well, it's 11:55 a.m. and I have a world wrestler that can't handle another person's game. Blaming don't fucking my food. Well, it's in every given fucking time. So whatever. That's it. It's the reason. It's got to be there. What's that down here? Living my best life. You would think I'm such a great person. Then he questioned that by saying, when you talking to me, that's like a muscle. When I see the company, stuff, and when I see that Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, sometimes like a good job, and when they're using terrible talent like their boss on Google, yeah. And then he said, that's how you, as a professional, do your day, and so many consider responding to the fight between Jade Cargill and JD. Therefore, Britt Baker particularly initially responding to the fight, which makes Conti state subsequently revealed in and her opinion about JD. So it's testament to both one side information about what goes on backstage. We've been laughing at you for months. He's not a victim. Hands are one thing. It's not about a singular coach. He has a history of interest. Health, accusation, defamation, slander, and leave. Nothing to know. Read again, JD. was senseless, allowing you to since previous. This is not about a single approach. You know what you have said, not about me, not all the way. That is true. JD from New York, who is in response to the group of the justice. He said that he has ethically worked to support the greater running better wrestling as well, which he has. I've watched his podcast for about 2 years. He has played Jade Cargill. He plays for people. He even plays video. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. That's a real thing. So he goes on to say, this is nothing wrong. I have actually spoken about the desire to see better winning wrestling and better wrestling views. I have defended the fairly criticized AEW and then to get 40% of the score. One of them is the listen to where I said anything wrong about the wrestling. The same old tired narrative. And the more like the talent makes me look bad. I ain't fucking going anywhere. I ain't fucking what I do. I ain't going to continue to do the show over what comes to that. And you benefit. Just me. Well, the truth appears to be growing distance. Now, if you guys concur with JD's argument, let me know if you like it. Now, I have a lot to say about this. I got a good thing to say about it, and I got some bad things to say about it. First of all, number one, why is Britt Baker and Britt Baker sticking their nose in JD's business? Number two, Conti has no business sticking in the argument between Jade Cargill and JD. And number three, it's one thing, as far as Jade Cargill goes, it's one thing to say that JD's winning, but it's another thing to be saying something like, it's one thing to be saying something like, I heard you all the way in your mouth, so calm down. That's doing a big pizza. That right there, he took a pizza. He was stepping off on himself. Then she went beyond fault by helping him out. I just want to say, Britt Baker and Rebuild. Guys, I'm back. Sorry. I had a technical difficulty. Can you guys hear me? Sorry. My camera works now. Yes. Guys, I'm back. My camera works now, man. I don't know what happened, but somehow my laptop just reloaded itself. And just like that, my camera comes right back on. Now, let's continue on with this fucking developing story on the AEW locker room taking aim at JD. So first of all, my thoughts on this situation. First thing first, I'm going with JD on this. I'm sorry. Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, and Rebuild and Conti can get mad all the fuck they want to, but I'm going with JD on this. This is not right. JD didn't deserve this. JD is brilliant. He's a genius. He's smart. He's respectful. He's a professional podcaster. He's the greatest podcaster. If anything, the only greatest podcaster in the entire IWC. JD did not deserve what he got on Twitter. Absolutely did not. And it's safe to say that Britt Baker and Rebuild should have never stuck their nose in his business. They should have stayed out of it. Why did they have to come chime in and defend for a wrestler that knows that she's terrible in the ring and knows that her in-ring skills, her theme song, and her fucking character is just fucking god-awful? Now, let's be honest. Jade Cargill's TBS title reign has been absolutely terrible ever since the start of her reign. We've seen nothing. We've seen nothing but TBS championship squash matches week after week after week after week. When is AEW going to give Jade Cargill actual competition? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to fucking know. And to be honest, to tell you the truth about it, I'm going to say what I said in the description because I mean this shit. I'm going to say it because nobody else will. I'm going to legitimately say this because nobody else will. Nobody else in the community will defend for JD. Nobody else will say this. Nobody else but me. So, First of all, they came at JD simply because he's a man with a comment on anything women do. Where were they when he thrashed the men exactly the same way? That's what I want to know. That's the question I fucking have. Where the fuck when they were when he thrashed the men exactly the same way? Those women thought if they united like Voltron and Megatron from the Transformers, they have enough power to cancel JD. And it's safe to say that Jade owes JD. She owes a lot to JD. And she also owes him a fucking apology. What a fucking geek is Jade Cargill, man. Seriously. She's a fucking complete geek and she doesn't even realize it. She made herself look more like a fucking blithering idiot on Twitter, man. Getting at the greatest podcaster in the entire IWC. Now, JD indeed praised this woman's growth. Unfortunately, her opponent has been in both companies and has barely gotten any better. Okay? Number one, the entire community absolutely hated the last match. And number two, Jade should be upset. She's not booked like Roman at this point. And number three, where the fuck were they when Cornette did it to Saraya last week? Oh, that's right. They were nowhere to be found because JD has pulled with the overall AEW audience. They charged. Simple as that. Simple as that, man. And you know what? Looks like CM Punk was right after all. Legitimately, CM Punk was right after all. For almost the whole locker room to come at JD for that tweet is kind of embarrassing and it's kind of rude and disrespectful and it's absolutely, most importantly, disgraceful. I even saw how a wrestler replied to JD and said that he's ruining wrestlers' careers with his opinions. Which is fucking ridiculous to me. If you can't get over on your own and stay over, then that's on you. That's on the entire women's locker room. You're not getting a pop on TV because of JD. It's probably because you female talents on the AEW women's roster are not getting yourself over. And it's also some of the booking as well. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, and it's very, very fucking hilarious because these are probably the same fucking wrestlers that want to downplay the audience on the internet and say fans on the internet are a small percentage of their actual overall fan base. That's almost like saying Buddy Matthews lied about the reports claiming that he was leaving and requesting for his release from AEW. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. JD, once again, was right. You gotta say that to the geeks online because they don't fucking listen, man. Worth of shit. You gotta say that to the trolls online because they don't listen. I mean, if they have a good match, JD lit a fire under them. He put them absolutely in their place and put them on lockdown. I think JD wins either way. I'm going with JD. I'm defending for JD on this one. Shit, if I was JD, I'd tell them they can go to hell. Shit, for real. JD needs to keep doing what he's doing and stop fucking worrying about the negative people that's talking shit about him and shitting on his podcast. JD just needs to do what he needs to do and continue to do what's best for him and his podcast and his fan base in the community. That's all I can say about that. That's all I'm saying about that shit. And you know what? This is why I stay away from wrestling groups on YouTube. This is why I stay away from wrestling on Facebook and Instagram. This is why I stay away from the internet wrestling community, because everyone wants to fucking defend Marina Shafir. Everyone wants to freaking defend Marina Shafir, a woman who can't wrestle and has done nothing to earn a title shot. And I did not knock that PlayStation 4 down on purpose. It was an accident. I didn't mean to knock it down. It was an accident, guys. So that noise you heard was my PS4 falling. It was an accident. Absolutely nothing, man. At this point, they're only extending Jade Cargill's undefeated streak. All we have seen, the only thing we've seen out of Jade Cargill in that TBS championship is TBS championship squash matches. That's all we've been seeing. We have not been seeing actual TBS championship from Jade Cargill and all the people that she's defeated. The cancel culture is pathetic, man. JD has every right to express his fucking feelings the way he wants to. If you don't like his opinions, you can simply unsubscribe to his channel. You can simply get the fuck out of his chat. Or you could just unblock him on Twitter. Simple as that. You don't like what he has to say about AEW and WWE? Deal with it. Deal with it. You fucking irrelevant geeks online. Deal with it. You blue check marks online. Deal with it. You freaking trolls, you freaking clowns like, oh, sorry. Deal with it. Deal with it, man. Deal with it, bro. Why, Brian, and I saw Brian's comment on the video where JD was putting Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, and Conti on blast. He was questioning, telling us, why is all the hate towards Marina? You want to know why there's hate towards Marina? Because she fucking sucks. That's why. She fucking sucks. Her gimmick sucks. Her in-ring skill sucks. Her theme music sucks. Everything about her character, everything about her sucks. CM Punk was right all along about the locker room, about some of the AEW talents in that locker room. I'm telling you, man. And the reason why Jade Cargill gets a lot of heat because she sucks. It's simple. She fucking sucks. There's a lot of nerds who support. And here we are again. She actually thinks she's good because of this title run. Give me a break, man. Give me a break, man. There are so many talents these mercs have elevated, man. Are you freaking serious, dude? There is legitimately so many talents that these geeks and these versions have elevated. They keep jumping over people who are way more talented. Orange Cassidy beating Pac. I don't know. I think Orange Cassidy beating Pac was the right decision, to be honest. That's just somebody else saying Orange Cassidy beating Pac is complete bullshit, right? Jade Cargill, regardless, owes JD an absolute apology. He's one of the biggest supporters in the AEW women's division. He has been showing up. Nothing but respect for all of them. I could spin in the face to him, and it's not cool. All this over that opinion, man. You know what? All this over opinion, that basically tells me that Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, and Tay Conti were acting like a bunch of 15-year-old girls on Twitter. That's what that tells me. Don't get me wrong, I have no ill issue with Tay Conti. I love Tay Conti. Tay Conti is one of my favorite female AEW female talents. I don't know how anybody can't like Tay Conti. I don't know how anybody's not a fan of Tay Conti. Tay Conti's in-ring skills are great. Her character gimmick is great. Her entrance music is great. I wish she had that entrance music from NXT, that No Rest for the Wicked, No Sleep, that theme song by Tay Conti on NXT. Man, that was one of my favorite theme songs in NXT. The Tay Conti I want to see is the heel Tay Conti from NXT. That's the Tay Conti I want to see. I want to see Tay Conti put in her heel work like she did from NXT. I mean, let's be honest, NXT treated Tay Conti like dog shit. That's the whole reason why Tay Conti left WWE in the first place. They were not using her right on TV. She was getting buried, wasted, put in Titus K-ring, kept in Titus K-ring until her release. First, there was Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, and Alexa Bliss attacking JD. Now, it's Britt Baker and Jade Cargill. I mean, relax. Every single one of you are professional wrestlers. JD is just saying what he thinks. And the only reason why Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, and the entire women's locker room was pissed off because they know the match would be complete dog shit. Simple as that. Simple as that. And that terrible Sunny Kiss, I heard that she chimed in. I don't know. How can AEW still have somebody like Sunny Kiss on the AEW women's roster? It's beyond me. Ugh, my God. The female wrestlers that AEW needs to let go are Leva Bates, Sunny Kiss, Emi Sakura, and that's it. That's it. Legitimately, that's it, dude. They are all terrible. Their gimmicks are terrible. Their in-ring skills are awful. Their theme songs are terrible. Terrible, 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 man. Absolutely. Emi Sakura's character gimmick is absolutely cringe as hell. It's cringe. They need to change whatever they got on her, man. Seriously. Absolutely cringe. These geeks, these irrelevant geeks on YouTube got some nerve to say, why all the hate from Maria and Shafir? The woman is slowly improving. Improving? Yeah, right. Give me a break. Improving. Yeah, right, man. Yeah, fucking right, dude. Pro wrestlers getting at all pissy about or even paying real mind to comments from social media world. It's beyond fucking pathetic. It's beyond fucking unreal. Beyond ridiculous. It really is. Absolutely ridiculous, man. My God. I don't even know what else I have to say. I really don't. I really don't, dude. I really don't, dude. Other than nobody gives a shit about Impact, nobody wants Impact. I mean, really, nobody watching Impact on TV Access, man. Nobody. Who cares? Who cares? Tony Khan, at the end of the day, Tony Khan and the elites are the downfall of this fucking company. That's the problem with AEW. They signed way too many jobless wrestlers who cut a promo or can't even tell a fucking storyline. That's the problem with this company. That's the problem with this company, man. Nobody wants to see the TBS Championship match. Get it off the card! Tony Khan. And let me tell you something about Tony Khan. Tony Khan desperately needs some more AEW writers. Tony Khan desperately needs AEW writers. You can't have Tony Khan writing these shows by himself for long. Eventually, at some point, Tony Khan is going to need some AEW producers, AEW writers, and he's going to need some brand new AEW cameraman. Ridiculous, man. Nobody wants to see these two terrible ladies wrestling. It's a waste of time. Get them off of TV. Get them off of TV. Why don't you just put the TBS Championship on Rampage instead of putting it on Dynamite? Why don't you do that? No, actually, keep it off the fucking card because nobody cares. The match is going to suck. That's going to be complete AIDS, man. Telling you right now. It's going to be as worse. It's going to be as worse. It's going to be worse than Braun Strowman versus Omos. That's how bad that match is going to be. Worse than Braun Strowman versus Omos. Everyone as fans are entitled to their own opinions. And then that fucking magic bearded geek on Instagram talking about some. You have no right to dictate JD's Instagram posts. Who the fuck are you to tell me I have no right to dictate someone else's fucking Instagram post? You fucking fat slobbing virgin. Really? Give me a break. Give me a freaking break, man. Give me a fucking break, dude. What JD has said in the past didn't hold weight. Legitimately. Jade Cargill was immediately thrown on TV being green as pigeon shit. Same with Omos. We see clowns putting her in the realm of Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. You mean to tell me that's an insult to Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair? This is ridiculous, man. This fucking story is ridiculous. What an embarrassment for the AEW women's locker room. Please, for the love of God, no. That comment on a post on Twitter was absolutely enough to get them all triggered up like a bunch of 12-year-old mad versions. That is as soft as it can be, man. Legitimately. JD was legitimately the one that defended AEW in that women's locker room for years. When maybe bashed it. And then many of these fake-ass versions and geeks and trolls on Twitter, online, these IWC geeks online, label him to be Tony Khan's payroll. Women going from WWE to AEW to find a job he'd be happy for. Oh, but nobody wants to talk about that, though, do they? No, nobody wants to talk about that. You serious, man? Give me a break with this shit, dude. I'm done. Of people on social media is too fucking soft for criticism, man. Really, man. Really. Fucking ridiculous, dude. This fucking shit sucks, dude. Oh my god, man. I'm moving on, dude. I'm done. I didn't say what I had to say. I'm done. I'm done with this fucking shit. With this shit news, man. With this piece of shit news. I'm done. I'm going with JD. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't say what I had to say. I'm done. I'm moving on to the next news, dude. I'm done. I'm done, dude. I'm done. I don't even want to talk about this shit anymore. I really don't. The AEW women's locker room should be ashamed of themselves, and every single AEW talent that's came at JD owes JD a fucking apology, because that is not something you say to JD on Twitter. JD could have gotten Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, and Conti suspended from their Twitter accounts just by what they said about JD on Twitter. And they probably done blocked his ass on Twitter. Good. JD doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about you three blocking him on Twitter. Really? Give me a break. Anyways, guys, moving on to the next AEW Tuesday afternoon news. This one is on Miro. So, apparently, Miro is not happy. He won't be happy until he wins an AEW World title. Look at that. Another person that's not getting much TV time. Another one. Another talent with no TV time. Barely got any. Another person that could be on his way out. That could be on his way back to WWE. Miro used to work as Rusev when he was in WWE during his time in the company. Miro was largely underutilized until the day of his release. Don't get me wrong, guys. Jade Cargill, I love her gimmick. I love her theme song. Her in-ring skills are not that bad, but she needs a little bit of improvement in the ring. She does. Her title reign has been complete dog shit. And Jade Cargill needs to take that blame on AEW. AEW are the reasons why Jade Cargill sucks. AEW are the reasons why Jade Cargill was booked like dog shit as TBS champion. AEW are the reasons why Britt Baker is not getting the push that the fans and the geeks, the irrelevant Britt Baker stains and fans and geeks in the community think that she deserves. AEW is the reason why Conti hasn't been getting much TV time as of late. AEW are the reasons why Conti is not AEW World Women's Champion yet. Just like AEW are the reasons why Jamie Hayter lost that AEW Interim Women's Championship. So, anyways, following his WWE release a couple of years ago, Miro debuted in AEW during September the 9th, 2020 episode of Dynamite as Kip Sabian's best man. After a rocky creative start, Miro eventually became the Redeemer and won the TNT Championship before dropping it to Sammy Guevara. Miro hasn't been seen since All Out, and he hasn't wrestled on Dynamite for a few months. Fans are worried about his status as well. I mean, even I'm worried about his status. AEW should be using him on TV. He should be an AEW World Champion already. Why is he not an AEW World Champion right now? What's going on? Well, speaking of Bust Open Radio, CJ Perry revealed that Miro will not be happy until he is champion in AEW again. That's your night quote. He wants to be champion, so he's not going to be happy until he's champion, Perry said. I'm just going to leave it at that. And rightfully so. I mean, he's always goes. If he got into a real fight with these people, I would destroy them. I would crush them. And that is very valid. Miro is also missing out for a sad reason. Obviously, he isn't finished yet, but fans are still waiting for his return to television. So we'll have to wait and see when Miro will be able to return to AEW programming to continue his quest to the top. More like Miro's going to be requested for his fucking release because he's not getting enough TV time. Yeah. Give me a break. Do you want Miro to be a champion again? I think he deserves to be a champion again. They just got up to that point. If you don't build somebody like that up, they will never be champion. That's just the way I fucking feel about it. All right. Next news we have is on Eric Bischoff again. So he apparently clapped back at Tony Khan for calling him a hypocrite. Eric Bischoff served as TNA Impact's executive producer from 2010 to 2012. He was WCW Senior Vice President during and the Executive Director of WWE SmackDown from June to October 2019. Bischoff recently clapped back at Tony Khan for calling him a hypocrite. During a media appearance on Busted Open Radio on Wednesday, Tony Khan addressed Bischoff's remarks, criticized lack of stories and cold matches in AEW. Khan referred to Bischoff as a hypocrite in his interview because, well, Bischoff frequently scheduled cold matches on WCW Nitro, which Khan claimed was when Nitro was at its best. Oh, really? Really? I see how you guys trying to be now. I see how Ringside News is trying to be by giving us this piece of news, man. Khan claimed that while not every match had a complex plot, most AEW matches did have a narrative element. In the most recent episode of 83 Weeks, Bischoff responded to the AEW president despite admitting he didn't hear Khan's remarks, but did see what was stated. And you know what? I get to show you guys the video of Santos Escobar and his father. I may even show you guys that after I give you guys all your AEW Tuesday afternoon news. Because you guys didn't get to see it the first time because the camera was working. Webcam was working. Now it's working. It's working now. It's on and it's working. So it might be because of the laptop. I don't know. Maybe that's why it wasn't working. So I've criticized, it says here, and I quote from Bischoff, I've criticized myself plenty for things that I wish I would have done differently, or things that I've learned subsequent to my time in WCW that I wish I had the knowledge or instinct or insight that I have now 25 years ago. It would have happened in a better show. There were certainly random matches that I didn't have any story in WCW. I'm not denying that. I'm also going to point out that I don't think I ever said in any of my commentary about AEW that I believe that every match should have a story. So basically, this is the same thing. I'm not going to go over the rest of it because this is the same thing that I've read already. So we've already went over this. I'm not going to go over everything because I already went over everything with you guys. Because we went over that other news on Eric Bischoff. So, but Bischoff did state that he wanted interesting and well-organized stories to be included in the matches rather than wrestling matches for the sake of wrestling matches. I can see that. I can see that being a good thing in AEW. What's y'all's take on Bischoff and Khan's remarks? Let me know in the live chats. All right. The next AEW Tuesday afternoon news we have is on. It's on the AEW stars. We got news on some of the AEW stars here. Apparently, this is apparent. So apparently, more AEW stars were planned to wrestle at New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom 17 event. On January 4th, 2023, Wrestle Kingdom 17 will be broadcast live from the Tokyo Dome. The highly anticipated match between Jay White and Kushida or Kazuchika or Kushida Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I couldn't get it right. Will serve as the pay-per-view's main event. I should have just said Okada instead. Additionally, a few AEW stars may also perform for the crowd. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer stated that AEW stars might also appear at the event. Dave asserted that as of a few months ago, AEW performers were scheduled to appear at the January the 4th event. He says here, and I quote, that's what Dave Meltzer said, "I know that as of a couple of months ago, that was the plan. It's on a Wednesday night, the same night as Seattle. It's tough, but I don't know who it will be. But I don't know that there were guys planned for the show as of a couple of months ago." End quote. The New Japan Pro Wrestling is responsible for producing Wrestle Kingdom 17. It will be the 32 Tokyo Doom show on January 4th, and the 17th will be promoted as Wrestle Kingdom. Fans are undoubtedly ecstatic to see their favorite AEW stars at that event. I mean, do you blame them? It sounds to me like it's going to be one of the greatest events in all the sports entertainment, maybe. Oh, look, my camera is working again. Awesome. You'll love to see it. You guys can see me now. Easy B, you still in the chat, man? You can see me now, man. It should be noted, after months of building anticipation, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling teamed up to jointly produce the historic Forbidden Door event. Elite performers like Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley were provided by AEW to New Japan Pro Wrestling over the years as well. The 2020 edition of Wrestle Kingdom featured Chris Jericho, the reigning AEW champion, taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Meanwhile, in addition to the main event, the pay-per-view will include a fatal four-way match between Taji, yeah, that's his name, Taji, Ishimori. All these Japanese names, I tell you, man. You can't, when you're doing live streams, you can't never seem to pronounce these Japanese names right, man. So there's a fatal four-way match between Taji, Hiromu, El Desperado, and Master Waddle for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. I don't know who those guys are. Those names don't ring a bell to me at all. For the first time ever, just because I don't watch IWGP, just because I don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. But for the first time, the event will also feature a IWGP Women's Championship match. So, what are y'all's thoughts on that? Let me know. Now, moving on to the next AEW Tuesday Afternoon News. This one is on Matt Cardona. So apparently, Matt Cardona claims responsibility for AEW's existence. It says here that Matt Cardona was known as Zack Ryder during his time in WWE as he worked hard to make a name for himself there. He did get over on his own thanks to his Long Island Iced Z YouTube show and charisma. He also decided to make a bold claim recently about how AEW came into existence. Following his WWE release, Cardona went to work in various companies, including AEW. He had a brief stint in Tony Khan's company, consistent of 6 matches, where he mostly teamed up with Cody Rhodes. While speaking on the Sam Roberts on Not Sam Wrestling podcast, Matt Cardona claimed that he is responsible for AEW's existence. He further explained his point by mentioning how his Long Island Iced Z YouTube show laid the groundwork for being the elite, the eventual catalyst for AEW. It says here, and I quote, "It changed the business. Tell me that Z. True Long Island story didn't change the business. Tell me to my face that it didn't change the business. All these kids, vlogging, the BTE show that started AEW, really, I'm responsible for AEW. Then he goes on to say, I'll say it right now, without Z, true Long Island story, there would be no BTE and there would be no E. Let's do that again. This is live, pal. We're live, pal, without Z. True Long Island story, there would be no BTE and there would be no AEW. Quote me on that. End quote. Matt Cardona even recently stated that Zack Ryder is dead. Regardless, we will have to wait and see what the future holds for the indie sensation. Do you guys agree with Matt Cardona? Let me know in the live chats, please. I really appreciate it. All right, moving on to the next news. This one is on Malachi Black. This one's on Malachi Black, guys. So, apparently, Malachi Black's AEW run, or should I say Jim Cornette dragged Malachi's AEW run for being a complete utter disappointment. Malachi Black was let go by WWE back in June last year after a very disappointing run on the main roster. Black eventually signed with AEW, and fans were glad he finally had a chance to truly show everyone what he can do. He truly had a chance to show everyone what he can accomplish. Unfortunately, nothing much came out of it, and his AEW run was dragged. His AEW run was dragged for being a disappointment. Black was the leader of the House of Black alongside Brody King and Buddy Matthews. And they found some form of success. Despite that, many fans felt Black didn't quite live up to his potential in AEW. While speaking on the Jim Cornette Reviews AEW's roster episode of the Jim Cornette Experience, Cornette dragged Malachi Black's AEW run for being a disappointment. He says here, and I quote, "This guy has been a disappointment since the start. Remember, he looked good, we thought, okay? Guy looks like a badass. Had some buzz about him, came in, did the thing with Cody, and then all of a sudden, Supernatural City came in. In every match of his, he would have a good match that would go in the toilet because he was playing some kind of spooky mind games with people." And then Jim Cornette continues on to say, then he gets a group around him and they cater to him until he realizes he ain't getting over. And then he wants to go back to where he kind of got over a little bit. End quote. Malachi Black also recently dropped a cryptic tease that missed his absence from AEW. We will have to wait and see when Malachi Black will make his return to AEW television. What's y'all's take on what Jim Cornette said? You know what to do. Next, we have your AEW Tuesday afternoon news on AEW pre-tapings. So apparently AEW pre-tape segments to save on travel expenses. Take a sip of this water here because my throat's getting dry. Whew, I need that. Oh. AEW has several hours of television to fill every week. Sometimes that takes creative planning to get everything together. Tony Khan's company is not immune to recording things and keeping them for what they are needed. John Sapp reported behind Fightful's paywall that AEW recording segments in advance is nothing new. In fact, this is done to save on travel and help wrestlers with their schedules and travel expenses. It says here, and I quote, "Oh, it's nothing new. AEW Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling has regularly practiced filming segments for talent the week ahead when they won't be wrestling at the next week's tapings. We're told this is done to save on travel and to ease the schedule for talent, so they're not flying in for 2 days only to do 1 minute backstage segments. And quote. It was also noted that the Hardy Boys and Young Bucks did that earlier this year. But Ringside News also learned that last week's Keith Lee Swerve segment from the Cincinnati tapings was also filmed the week prior in Toronto. Obviously, the tactic is working fine. Working for AEW. I seen a shadow in my window. Look like someone's walking. I don't know. But what is your take on AEW taping things in advance? Sign off in the live chats, please. Next, we have this news on Jon Moxley. So this guy named Britt Lauderdale thinks that Jon Moxley will return to GCW. Not a chance. He's not returning there. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, it's just not. Jon Moxley pulled double duty by performing with AEW and GCW. Now with Moxley signing a contract extension with Tony Khan's company, he will have more power in the company, and that will limit participation in other promotions. Now, later owner feels he'll return. Now, speaking on the business podcast, Game Changer Wrestling owner Britt Lauderdale asked about Jon Moxley's run as GCW champion. He loved it, and every time Moxley appeared, he made the company seem like a big deal. Says here, and I quote, yeah, one thing about Moxley's run, I know there are a lot of people that wish that he could have been at every show. But we have to be realistic. Brett Lauderdale said, this guy's one of the top stars of the weekly television wrestling company. And he's not going to be able to make every every show. He has commitments, real life commitments, and professional commitments that extend beyond GCW. So as I saw it, I loved him I loved him being champion for the entire time because it made it seem extra special every time he would come. And every time he would have a match, put the title on the line, to me, it seemed like a bigger deal than had you been there every week or every show or once a month. But yes, it was also significant having him for obvious reasons. And then he goes on by saying he's one of the biggest stars in the world, which I agree. So to see him wearing our title belt and wearing GCW sweatshirts on TV and doing crazy matches for us when he doesn't have to do them, it obviously is a big deal for GCW, and it opens eyes. It takes us beyond the indie wrestling bubble and introduces new fans to us that would never otherwise know what GCW is. And then he continues on in this long paragraph. Furthermore, I mean, when other wrestlers, AEW wrestlers, or just top name international talent, or even just top indie wrestlers, when they see Moxley willing to come and do GCW, knowing that the guy doesn't need the money. It's not about a payday. And they see that he does it because he wants to be there. Obviously, it helps GCW's credibility and helps our reputation among wrestlers and inside the business. So Mox, again, his contributions to GCW also extended beyond the ring. End quote. Lauderdale was also asked if he had any prior knowledge of Moxley signing a new 5-year extension with All Elite Wrestling. He admitted that he doesn't know, but believes we'll see Moxley wrestle again for Game Changer Wrestling in the future. And this is what he had to say about that. I had no idea. Brett Lauderdale said, I've had very little interaction with AEW itself over the years, and booking Moxley, I never spoke to AEW, so it was always just Moxley talking to him and him. I guess handling whatever needed to be handled. handling whatever needs to be handled with AEW. But yeah, I'm sure things are going to change now. I don't think we'll see him as frequently. But I do think we'll see him again. I think if there comes a time where there's somebody he wants to wrestle or a show he wants to be a part of, I think he'll be there, says Brett Lauderdale. I think he'll let me know in much the same way that he's let me know over the last, whatever, it was 399 days. He'll shoot me a text and say, what do you got coming up in this month? Or when are you going to be in this place? That's how it would often come together. So I wouldn't be surprised if I hear from him again in a few months or 6 months or whatever. Sometime in the next year, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back again and stops in for another event. But again, he does have priorities, and I don't expect it. Rather, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'll continue to look at it as a bonus anytime he comes around. Says Brett Lauderdale, end quote. We'll see what happens if Jon Moxley competes in GCW or any other smaller promotion again during his time in AEW. It all depends on whether Tony Khan will allow that in Moxley's new agreement to appear in CGW or other organizations. Will Moxley compete in other smaller promotions with his new deal with AEW? This is a question to everybody that's watching live chat. Let me know in the comments. Moving on to the next news. Next AEW Tuesday afternoon news. This one is on Adam Cole, baby. And Claudio Castagnoli. So apparently, Adam Cole and Claudio Castagnoli tease future WWE appearance. Claudio Castagnoli is getting what he deserves for so long after jumping ship to AEW. However, Castagnoli and Adam Cole recently posted cryptic post with clips from WWE's Up, Up, Down, Down YouTube series that could hint at their return to WWE programming in some form. Adam Cole and Castagnoli took to Twitter to share the cryptic post. The Bagney also featured the host, WWE superstar Xavier Woods. This video teased that they might get the party consisting of Woods, Claudio, Cole, and Tyler Breeze back together. The show was started by Xavier Woods a few years ago and now has its own platform and social media channels. After participating in a number of video games, numerous industry superstars contested to become the Up, Up, Down, Down champion. Adam Cole participated in NXT during his time with WWE, and Claudio Castagnoli went under the ring name Cesaro on the main roster. Both are seemingly happy in AEW. At WrestleMania Backlash the previous year, Cesaro faced Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, but he was unsuccessful. Castagnoli's AEW debut a few months ago shocked the world, the wrestling industry. Only time will tell if Adam Cole and Claudio will make their way back to Up, Up, Down, Down, but they will likely be walking back with open arms. What do you think about the cryptic post? Next, we have some news on another title match announced for AEW Dynamite this week, and then the last AEW Tuesday afternoon news for today will be news on the Rampage viewership. Some of you guys are not going to be happy about the Rampage viewership, I'm telling you right now. But first, let's go over the news on another title match announced for AEW Dynamite this week. I think it's safe to say that AEW might have taken that TBS championship match off the card due to the altercation between JD and Jade Cargill. Let's hope they took it off because nobody wants to watch it. I mean, the match is going to be insufferable. It's going to be complete garbage. So yeah, it was apparent that another title match announced for AEW Dynamite this week. This has Brian Cage and Samoa Joe's names mentioned all over it. This has their names written all over this article, this news article. Ever since winning the Ring of Honor World Television title, Samoa Joe had run-ins with the Embassy, particularly Brian Cage, for several weeks now. The Embassy wasted no time assaulting Samoa Joe. Brian Cage has even indicated that he wishes to fight for the Ring of Honor Television title. It now looks like Brian Cage will get his wish this week on AEW Dynamite as he squares off against Samoa Joe for the title. Tony Khan announced the match between these two men on Twitter. He said here, and I quote, "After weeks of altercations between Ring of Honor World TV champion Samoa Joe and the Embassy's Brian Cage, these two will fight for the title live on Wednesday. Dynamite. Live on Wednesday's Dynamite. Ring of Honor World TV Championship match. Samoa Joe versus Brian Cage. Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 p.m. Central Time. On the TBS network." End quote. Apart from this match, this week's edition of AEW Dynamite promises to be exciting with two other title matches announced. So, I'm going to reveal to you guys the card for this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. My AEW Dynamite watch along will be live tomorrow night. The review will be scheduled to go live after the watch along. And that is where I'm going to give you guys your WWE and AEW Wednesday night news. Now, the card for this week's episode of Dynamite, we have the Ring of Honor TV title. We have Samoa Joe defending that against Brian Cage. Orange Cassidy defending his AEW All Atlantic Championship against Luchasaurus and Wade Phoenix. Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal. Billy Gunn Birthday Bash. And the Renee Young interview with Dr. Britt Baker and Saraya. I think they have seemingly took the Jade Cargill versus Marina Shafir TBS Championship match off the card. Damn, man. Jade Cargill is that hurt by JD's comments about her TBS Championship match against Marina Shafir? She's that hurt about him shitting on Marina Shafir? I mean, she sucks. I mean, she really does suck. She's not good in the ring at all. In fact, I could sit here and say that she needs more training in AEW. She absolutely needs more training in AEW. But anyways, the last AEW Tuesday afternoon news I have is on AEW Rampage viewership. Plummeting to under 400K views. So in other words, the AEW Rampage dropped to an all-time low last week. Not surprising, given that the show wasn't really all that too good. AEW brought a live Rampage for fans last week, but they had a decent card despite the packed episode returning to Daily's Place. They still had to deal with a Friday night at 10 o'clock p.m. time slot. WrestleNomics reports that the October 28th episode of Rampage on TNT was watched by 378,000 viewers on average, including about 158,000 aged 18 to 49 for a 0.12 in the 18 to 49 demographic. That does not sound good at all. Sounds absolutely terrible. AEW Rampage brought in 480,000 viewers on October the 21st. They also brought in 0.13 to 18.9 demographic. October 7th episode of Rampage brought in 458,000 viewers with a 0.17 to 18.9 demographic. October the 7th episode of AEW Rampage brought in 404,000 viewers. For their live episode, they also clocked in a 0.13 in the 1849 demographic. September 30th episode of Rampage brought an overnight average of 472,000 with a .16 to 18.49 demographic. September 23rd episode of Rampage Grand Slam brought a 2-hour fast national average of 510K viewers. 213K of those viewers were in the 18.49 demographic. September the 16th episode of Rampage brought in 470,000 viewers. They also drew a .14 to 18 to 49 demographic. The September 9th edition of AEW Rampage brought in a fast national audience of 393,000 viewers. 163K of those viewers were in the 18.49 demographic. The September 2nd edition of Rampage brought in 485,000 viewers with a .16 in the 18.49 demographics. This was their live go-home episode before All Out. August the 26th episode of Rampage brought in 431,000 viewers with a .48 and 18.49 demographic. August the 19th episode of Rampage brought in a fast national number of 461,000 with a 142 of those viewers, the 18.49 demographics. August 12th edition of Rampage was taped. They brought in viewership of 528,000 with a .17 to 18.49 demographic. August 5th episode of Rampage brought in a fast national audience of 431,000 viewers with a 179K of those in the COVID 1849 demographic. This was a live episode and not pre-recorded as it is on most weeks. We'll have to see if AEW's B show can pull things up. They are certainly putting in enough work to build good characters, good cards, but they are also dealing with a difficult time slot. What is y'all's take on this AEW Rampage? What's y'all take on last week's AEW Rampage? Let me know. Hey guys, anyways, this is going to do it for your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news. You guys enjoyed it. Hit the thumbs up, please. Let's get some more likes on the stream. Let's get at least 5 or 6 likes on the stream. I really appreciate it. Share this news live stream to all social media platforms. And I'm going to show you guys a few things before I get off. I want to show you guys that video of Santos Escobar and his father. And I want to show you guys the tweets exchanged between JD and Jade Cargill. So, give me a few minutes here. I'm going to put the camera on. Alright guys, here we go. I'm going to show you guys this video of Santos Escobar and his father. I'll be able to show it this time. Alright guys, here's the video of Santos Escobar and his father. You guys can see it. Is it pulling up? Let me see. Alright guys, here we go, man. Yep, that was the video of Santos Escobar and his father. It's a surreal moment there, man. That was an unreal moment. Really good moment, Santos Escobar. Now I'm going to show you guys the tweets exchanged between JD and Cargill. Alright guys, give me time. I'm gonna pull it up. Give me some time here. The last thing I'll show y'all before I get up, I gotta get ready to go to work. Gotta get ready to go to work, man. I'll be off tomorrow. The AEW start. I'll tell y'all. Actually, I'll tell y'all that after I show y'all this. What's happened on YouTube tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Now I'm gonna be posting a poll asking how I did now. Come on, pull it up, man. Why this thing's got to take so long to pull up? Guys, I don't know what's taking this thing so long to cool off. I really don't. Oh, now it wants to cool off. Look at that. Okay, so here's the tweets exchanged between Jade Cargill and JD. It's shown by my only sources I have, Ringside News. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. But then, this is the response from Jade Cargill, what she said, and then they on it to her. I went over this stuff with you guys already. I'm just showing tweets between Jade Cargill and JD. There's even tweets between Britt Baker, JD, Conti, and Earl Reveal. They were chiming in and defending Marine Shafir. And why you want to defend somebody as garbage as Marine Shafir? I don't get that. I don't understand that. Why they would want to do that, I don't know. Why they would want to do that is beyond me. This is what Ray Bill said. You guys can see it on the screen. Which I didn't agree with at the time. I didn't agree with it at all, what she said. It was hilarious the way JD said, "Kiss my ass." It sounded hilarious. This is the actual tweet from JD that he sent out. These are the tweets. And he responded to a geek fan saying, no, they do not. Because the geek fan said, are these people aware you're talking about characters they play on TV and a script? Not them personally. Like I said, man, I'm going with JD. JD's obviously right again. And like I said earlier in the stream, it was uncalled for. It was an embarrassment for the AEW Women's locker room, man. I mean, please, for the love of God, no. Are you serious? That comment is enough to get them all angry, triggered, and stirred up, man. Like, that was still as soft as it can be. You know, JD was the one that defended AEW in the women's locker room for years. Like I said, Many bashed it, and many labeled him to be Tony Khan's payroll, which he wasn't. Women going from WWE to AEW to find a job, nobody wants to talk about that, though. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. JD literally murdered Jade Cargill and her goon squad on his podcast this week. I mean, for years, I've even heard JD say he's a king of this community. He's the king of the community. He's the head of the table of the community. He's right. He is. A bunch of dumb idiots are getting pissed off over nothing, over tweets that aren't even negative. He was just only being honest. This doesn't happen in any other sport or wrestling, man. Legitimately. It really don't. Because those people have more of a brain to go. You know, I have better things to do with my time than just fucking see all the activity on Twitter and complain about something that shouldn't even be complained about. You know what I'm saying? You know, if Britt, let me tell y'all something. If Britt, Jade, Rebuild, or anyone from their camp ever see this podcast, ever hear or listen to my WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news, I just want everybody to know what JD said was a very nice comment compared to what I would have said, compared to what the majority of the community would have said, compared to what the people he's associated with, including Soul Monster and Jesse, would have said. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people have stopped watching wrestling. I'm still watching wrestling to this day. I'm never going to stop watching. I have love and passion for WWE and AEW. And like I said, don't get me wrong, Britt Baker's gimmick, her in-ring skills are great, but she just has a big fucking mouth. She has too much of a big ego, man. And we already know that she's not all about the women's division. She's all about herself and her political ways. And she's still all about herself and her political ways. Jade Cargill, her TBS title reign's been fucking terrible. All we've seen is TBS championship squash matches. Squash matches after squash matches after squash matches after squash matches every week. AEW is treating her like how they treated Lance Archer. AEW is legitimately treating her like how they treated Lance Archer on AEW, like how they treat Lance Archer every week on AEW Dark and Elevation. Legitimately, dude. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, man. The AEW female talent treat their fans like complete trash. They don't like something, you gotta get used to it. Get used to it, get over it, move on. It will never go away. It will never, ever go away. Everyone's getting what they want out of this, which is attention, likes, views. That's what they want. That's what they want. JD should just really keep doing his reviews and not even mention any individual from AEW, from All Elite Wrestling. He shouldn't even mention. He shouldn't just mention. He should just keep doing his reviews and not mention none of the AEW female talents in the world. I mean, why give them any attention at all? Just to continue to bury it. You know, he's doing great. You know. He's doing what he has to do. He's doing his job as a podcaster. What's wrong with a podcaster doing his job as a podcaster? You know what I'm saying? These irrelevant geeks in the community still have an issue with JD doing his job as a podcaster. Still shaming him, shitting on him, calling him a racist. Oh, JD is a racist. Oh, JD is a fucking asshole. Oh, JD is a fucking slob. Brain. serious? No, Jay, they didn't roast JD. JD roasted them. Bottom line is, Jade Cargill had no right to attack JD, all because of a factual statement. It's sad that this happens to JD. He's one of the greatest, if not the only greatest podcasters in the entire IWC. Just saying, man. Just saying. Period. Period, man. That's all I gotta say, man. I'm getting the heck out of here, guys. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And you know what? You know what's funny? Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, and Conti are probably the same wrestlers that want to downplay the audience on the internet and say fans on the internet are a small percentage of their actual overall fan base, man. Really. And I love how he still plays victim over false reporting one side of the story, making only Rosa look good and Britt bad. I mean, really. He's doing great for himself. He's doing great for himself, man. He really is. And you know what? Punk was right about the whole locker room too. Coming at you for a tweet that was kind of actually just not that serious. Not that serious, man. The cancel culture is pathetic. JD has every right to express himself the way he wants to. And I said this earlier. I'm going to say it again. Jade Cargill gets a lot of heat because she fucking talks. There's a lot of nerds in the fucking IWC community who supports this bullshit. Who supports. And here we are. Look at this. Look at this. She actually thinks she's good because of this title run. When in reality, her TBS championship title run has been nothing but complete dog shit. There are so many fucking talents these marks have elevated. They just keep jumping over people. Again, dude. Again, boo. Like seriously, dude. They are continuing to jump people who are way more talented. It's a damn shame, dude. It's a damn shame. It really is. The whole situation was over a match that oh man. Oh my goodness, dude. Point is, seriously, to be seriously honest, the point is he has every right to have an opinion. If he feels the match is going to suck, that's his business. Jade Cargill absolutely owes JD an apology. I'm gonna say this one last time to the irrelevant, negative, unhearing geeks in the community. JD has every right to have an opinion if he feels the match is going to suck. That is his business. Jade Cargill owes JD an apology. The only greatest podcast in the IWC community. JD shits on AEW because he cares about AEW. JD shits on WWE because he cares about WWE. Same thing I do with my reviews. I shit on AEW because I care about AEW. I shit on WWE because I care about WWE. I care about the young talent and how they're getting used and mistreated and wasted and buried on TV and being kept in Tyler's cave only to get released. I care about young talents like Johnny Gargano, young talents like Tommaso Ciampa, young talents like Theory, young talents like Mustafa Ali, young talents like Darby Allin, young talents like Jungle Boy. The list goes on and on and on, dude. Seriously. I care about young talents like Jamie Hayter. The list goes on and on, dude. Pro wrestlers are getting all pissy about every single thing a fan says, dude. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I'm fucking done. I'm getting the fuck out of here. This shit fucking sucks. Oh my God. This shit fucking sucks, dude. If she spent as much time legitimately in the fucking ring with Daniel fucking Bryan as she does on Twitter, she might have just a little mid-card in-ring action to go along with her fucking speculation. I mean, look at future possibilities, but not with that attitude. Hell no. Why don't you go on the podcast with her and can tell me, you geeks in the community, you Jade Cargill stains and geeks in the community, come back and tell me what the definition of a merc is. You fucking serious, dude? God damn, dude. Give me a break. Ridiculous. Pretty fucking ridiculous, man. I'm done. I'm getting out of here, guys. That's it. I'm done. No, I don't want to talk about it no more. I'm done. If you guys enjoyed this live stream, if you guys enjoyed me giving you your AEW Thursday afternoon news, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We have a few announcements to make, and that is that number one, my AEW Dark Watch Along will be live this afternoon, so be sure you join the live chat and hang out with me, communicate and chat with me, and everybody else is going to be in the live chat for AEW Dark. And sit back and relax and enjoy the music in the background before the AEW Dark stream starts, which will be tomorrow afternoon. So after the AEW Dark Watch Along, Wednesday night, my AEW Dynamite Watch Along will be live. And then my Dynamite review will be live after the AEW Dynamite Watch Along. And then there won't be no WWE and AEW Thursday afternoon news. There might be a AEW Thursday afternoon news live stream. There might not be. I don't know. I have an appointment Thursday afternoon on the laptop, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a WWE and AEW Thursday afternoon news live stream or not. So Friday, I will be doing a WWE and AEW Friday afternoon news live stream. And then this Friday night, my SmackDown Watch Along will be live. SmackDown Rampage Watch Along. That'll be live Friday night. And then I may stream a few games. I may try to subscribe to PlayStation Plus again. I want to wait until that new DLC, until they put that new DLC in the PlayStation Store for Xenoverse 2. There's a new DLC for Xenoverse 2 that's supposed to be coming out this fall. And I'm wanting to buy it. And I'm trying to save money to get that. I'm going to have enough to get it, of course. And then, Crown Jewel this Saturday. I'll be live for your Crown Jewel Watch Along this Saturday. I don't know if it's Saturday morning or Saturday night. If it's Saturday night and it starts at 7 p.m., then the Watch Along will start at 6 o'clock p.m. and the stream start at 6:30 p.m. and I'll start giving you your WWE AEW Saturday afternoon news. Or Saturday evening news, actually, rather. And I will probably go live for the Crown Jewel review after that. I don't know. I know my WWE AEW Sunday night news live stream will be live. I don't know if I'm doing a WWE AEW Sunday afternoon news or not. I may just chill and relax that day and start doing thumbnails, start scheduling content for the new week. So, if you guys have any questions, man, just message me on Facebook, reach out to me on Instagram and let me know. Or you can even comment the question in the comments below on all of my streams, or if you want to message me to comment on one of my streams in the comments below or whatever. But I'm getting out of here, guys. Peace. Stay safe always. And I will see you guys live chat for AEW Dark tomorrow afternoon. Have a great Tuesday.